Okay. This is going to be a demonstration for how to organize and put together your process documentation. So, all right. So first thing you're going to do is, you're just going to take a look at all of the work that you have. So this is going to relate to an assignment I'm going to post later. I actually didn't post it yet, so you kind of follow this video step by step on how to do it though. But you're going to do a couple of different things though. You're going to pull your thumbnails, your sketches that you worked on. I'm just going to use this as an example, kind of unrelated to SI topics, but you're going to use the same procedure though. You're going to use this document here. You're going to use your photo reference. I just grabbed a reference online, so hopefully you take this photo in class, but definitely you can use like references online as well. And then the last piece would be your finished work of art. So obviously we're not at this phase right now, but definitely this would be like your kind of final phase. So it's very reminiscent of like the process documentation pieces that I've shown you guys in the past before. So we go to the AP website. A lot of real good examples on there for process documentation. We're going to do one type of process documentation where it's just focused on the your thumbnails, references, and then moving out to your final piece. So, and I've shown you guys these examples before. Here's kind of like. Let me find one that's closer. So, here's one with like another student. I didn't show you guys this one. But, it's like the thumbnail sketches on the top left, transitioning with your references, the lighting, experimenting with colors, and then you have your final piece on the bottom. So that one I didn't show you, but you guys seen like this one right here. And there's different ways of like, approaching and doing your process documentation. This is like kind of like, just showing the sequence of how you created your projects. So really good to have this process documentation piece, because one thing that the AP scores love to see is, like your thought process and how you went about with creating your work. So in order to do that, though, it's pretty simple. We're just going to open up a new document on here. So let me just delete that scribble I did. So, just create a new document. Click plus, screen size. You keep your screen size, that's fine. And you can kind of orient it though any way you want. I'm going to do mine's horizontally just because it's a little easier to see things in this kind of format. Okay, so pretty much this assignment though, what you're doing, it's just going to be a lot of like cutting, copying, pasting, and then just, kind of writing like, important information that will help you with your particular piece. So, first thing you're going to do is, you want to upload your sketches. So you click on the wrench, click on add, you can go to insert photo, and then we're going to look for those sketches that I had on here. So I think it's on the bottom actually. And if you're like me, you probably have like a bunch of stuff on here, maybe not as much as me. This is like years worth of work that was on here. So, here's my picture here. I'm going to resize it to make it a little bit smaller. So, a little smaller here. And you're just kind of fitting it in like a kind of like a sequential order. So, I just leave it right there. And just remember, you can always go to your layers panel. Each thing that you add will be like a separate layer. So you can always click on the layer, this selection tool, and you can always resize and move things, rotate them around. So I'm going to do that. So, definitely, if you want to be like really fancy with it, you could give it like a title. So you can say like, if you want, you can handwrite it out. This could be, I actually like the background when it's black, just because it feels more professional when it's black or a different color. I can do it black, make it white. We can call it like, your sustained. Apparently I can't spell sustained. Sustained investigation number 1. All right, so I actually didn't do that on the, so make sure to separate them all in different layers. And, you know, this kind of happens. It's pretty common if you, you know, kind of rushing things. So investigation number 1, value. So just remember, everything you make into a layer, you can always, you know, move it around, resize it, and just kind of make it fit in with your picture. So a lot of it, you know, what you're doing is just kind of moving around, things around, making it go in like some kind of a sequential order, and just kind of putting it together where, like, you know, it's something that's easy to follow for your, you know, for the AP score. So, you know, we're gonna add like the next piece. So it's pretty much just adding all your pieces together. So, you know, we're gonna add the photo that we used. And again, you can go in any kind of like order or like way you want to design this page. I'm just giving you like a very, very generic basic example of like what you can do. And then the last piece, and you guys probably won't have this piece yet. It's, you know, this could be like your sketches. If you want to go like even more in between, and then your final piece. So, you know, doing something like this is really great because it's like you're demonstrating like what you did for like the project, and you know, and it's definitely something like really nice to see. Like, you know, the AP scores love looking at stuff like this. So, you know, at this point now, it's like you're just kind of figuring out how like you want to, you know, place things in your picture. So I might want to put the biggest one right over here. And I'm actually going to make it bigger just because I want that to fill up the page. These other ones could be a little bit smaller. You know, not as important. Especially the reference, you know. So, you know, we're just kind of moving these little pieces around one at a time. So I just want to make that a little bit smaller. So now I know in Photoshop it's like a lot easier to kind of move things around. This one you have to kind of click on the layers and then move it around. So, I mean, this looks pretty good right here. So, you know, this is like kind of basically what you need to do. Just kind of figure out how you want to arrange things. And obviously you're going to do like different things. Like personally for me, I like to make it look a little bit personal with it. So, you know, I will write things out. I will draw things in. So, you know, maybe I'll just stick with the, or, you know, we can color code it. Why don't I do like that, the orange too. You know, this could be like a whole separate piece itself if you wanted to even take it like a step further. You know, maybe I could draw some arrows to show the direction with, you know, how I went about with doing my piece. So you're just doing like little things like this, you know, to show, you know, your sequence of things. You know, you can, I could just type in like, or write thumbnails. You know, you can make little notes like, didn't like idea. You can't really see the idea now that I exited out. But, you know, I'm going to do a little bit lighter. So, didn't like idea. It is very cliche. So you guys remember like cliche was when we talked about it. You know, that eyeball thing is really cliche. You know, went with this idea. You know, just make, you know, they'd like to see these little notes that you take or things that you do. You know, you don't really have like that good of a handwriting. You can also type it out too. If you go to the wrench, you click on insert or add type, you can also type in text too. So, you know, we can call this your, you know, rough sketch. So apparently I can't spell sketch or Can't spell audit apparently. I mean, it's okay. So rough sketch, you know, we can move it around. Maybe I might put it under here, make it smaller. So it's just really spending some time just to collage and, you know, put together your work. And, you know, this could be a separate piece in itself. You can also change the font too if you double click on here, edit text. You know, you have a couple options on like, you know, different fonts you can use to change the, you know, the look of the, of like, you know, what you're doing. So, but you know, it's just basically just showing like what you did, what your work was. You know, you can even make little notes like, whoops. And I probably would do this on a separate layer. See, I did that on that same layer. So just be really careful when you do your writing annotations. Just make sure to make it a separate layer. You know, put down the light source. You know, shadows here. Light. As you remember, like, you know, value is like kind of like the most important thing in this piece. So you want to, you know, make sure that stuff reflects on here as well. So light, shadow. So, you know, made hair more flowy. Okay, but you know, you're just doing like little notes and, you know, just making it look like it's like a piece that like, oh, you're looking at this like, oh, this is like why this artist did that, why they did this. You know, I didn't really talk too much about the colors that I did right here, but you know, I could have added that as a part of the piece. Okay, but this is like, you know, just the general direction you want to go with. With every piece that we do, we always want to do like some type of a process documentation. This is like just the, you know, generic formula of like value of like, you know, what we're doing with your project thus far. So, you know, you're doing your, I'm gonna do this on a different color. You know, you're doing your thumbnails in here, your reference. This actually ain't the rough sketch. It's actually down here. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, put that as a separate layer. Thank God I did. Yeah, the rough sketch is actually down here. That would be your reference. You know, this is what you're gonna spend time to do for a day, though. You know, you're gonna do your thumbnails, your reference, rough sketch if you're that far along, and then you know, just make sure to leave space for like your. I'm gonna do this on another layer. You know, leave space for like your art piece at the end. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna do all the circles there because I do want to leave this as an example for y'all to look at later. Okay, I mean that's pretty much it though. Reference. Always make a new layer where already needed. This layer. Okay.